Commissioner Spear?
Yes.
Present. Commissioner Manchella is absent. Commissioner Scott Berman?
Here.
Commissioner Franklin?
Here.
Commissioner Giuliani is absent. Commissioner Gupta? Yes. He's there, thank you. Commissioner Jeff Berman? Here. Commissioner McKay is absent, and we do have a quorum. First order of business is to ratify the meeting, the minutes from the last meeting. All in favor of, all in favor of, do I have a motion to approve the minutes? So moved. Second. Okay, any corrections or additions to the minutes? All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye. Aye. Yes, the minutes have been approved. Next on the agenda is to approve the 2025 meeting dates for the Planning Commission, which are published. Do I have a motion for that? Second.
I'll move it.
Commissioner Gupta, Commissioner. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The meeting dates have been approved. Okay. The first case tonight is case 2024-39P, special use permit 78.2, Twinkle for car customization service. Before I begin, if there's anybody here for case 2024-40P, a special use permit of 34 CP2 Avenue pickleball, that case will be postponed. So I just want to know if anybody's here for that. Mike Whitcutt will present the staff report for the village.
Okay. Good evening. Attached proposed positive findings of fact. It is not anticipated that the request will adversely affect adjacent properties. All completed vehicles will be kept inside the garage until customers retrieve them, thereby lessening the impact of the proposed use on the shared parking facilities. Adequate public facilities, including roads, drainage, utilities, and police and fire protection, currently exist to serve the requested use. Adequate provision for maintenance. Yes.
Counselor, is there a notice of order?
Yes, notice is proper and correct.
Second.
Sure. Adequate provision for maintenance of the associated structures is demonstrated by the request. No adverse effects on the natural environment are anticipated. It is not anticipated that the request will create undue traffic congestion. The petitioner has indicated that customers will be required to schedule appointments ahead of time for all services. Public health, safety, and welfare will not be adversely affected by the request, and the request will conform to all applicable provisions of this code. This is a depiction of the site plan. The space to be occupied will be down here on the southeast end of the property. And as you can see, there is parking wrapping around the building, driveways, parallel parking on this side. There is an adequate amount of parking at the site. I believe there's an excess also available. And then there's an overhead door that would go into the work area for the proposed use, where you see this striping here. So the overhead door is right there, and cars would access the site and then go into the interior, which is laid out here. 3 work bays shown. Customer entrance, staff entrance over here with a waiting room, printer room, plotter room where the graphics would be prepared, staff kitchen area, bathroom, and main office. Recommended conditions from staff. The petitioner shall develop the subject property in substantial conformance with the final village approved architectural site plan and floor plan. I would like to request that condition number 2 be removed from the recommended conditions. This is a condition from the fire department that was originally included, but it's determined that a building permit is not required for this use, And the fire department will be working with the petitioner to walk through the site to determine if there's any type of additional sprinkler protection that's required for this building. With the vehicles being kept indoors, there's just a higher level of scrutiny on flammable materials present. But this will be handled not through the special use permit, but between the fire department and the petitioner themselves. Both parties, both the fire department and the petitioner, are aware that there will need to be a walkthrough made of the site, but we will not hold it as a recommended condition in the staff report. Condition number 3, prior to the issuance of an occupancy permit, the property owner must install Illinois Accessibility Code compliant signage at both of the existing accessible parking spaces at the subject site. There's 2 of them on site, one up here at the northwest corner, and then we have one over by the southeast corner of the property. And I believe both are currently deficient in displaying ADA code, Illinois ADA code signage for accessibility. So the property manager is aware of this, and they will be correcting the issue. All repair work must be performed within a building at all times, except inspecting vehicles, adding fluids and changing tires, batteries, windshield wipers, or light bulbs. Outside storage and display of items for sale or lease, tools, equipment, vehicles, parts, or supplies is prohibited. Vehicles and boats are prohibited to be sold, advertised for sale, or other than operational licensed vehicles owned by the establishment remain outdoors on the property for more than 10 days. Finally, the petitioner shall submit to the Planning Division electronic files of the site and floor plans in their approved and finalized form. And that concludes my presentation.
Just one question. Do we have any comments from neighbors?
I have not received any comments from anybody either on the site or in the neighborhood itself. That concludes my presentation. I'm just pulling up the slides for the petitioner. Yeah. You're all set.
What's the click, how do I advance?
You can just arrow through it there.
Oh, right here. Okay, great. Good evening. Hi, my name's Ann Junia. I'm an attorney for the tenant, Pure Fleet, who's here requesting the special use. The landlord was unable to be here tonight, but we've been in constant communication since we started working with Bob. This is Bob Jovanovic, the owner of Pure Fleet.
Excuse me if I may interrupt you. Can I swear in?
Yes. You want to swear both of us?
Well, you're an attorney.
Oh, yeah. No, I appreciate it.
Sir, do you affirm that the testimony you give tonight is truth and all truth, nothing but the truth and all truth?
That's right.
So Bob signed a lease in August. His goal is to do car detailing. We're requesting a special use for the automotive repair because that's the use that's been determined. What Bob is proposing to do most closely fits within the code. Kind of falls in between graphics and printing, which is permitted by right, and then automotive repair that requires a special use. But just to be very clear, this isn't an automotive repair facility. It's more, I like to call it car accessorizing, just putting some wrapping on the car, doing some tinting, detailing work. It is not a car wash. There is an element of a hand car wash just to prep the vehicles so the tinting and the wrapping can go on the way it needs to be. But we did prepare, I met with Bob at the site to get a feel for what we're doing here. The prior tenant, Significant Graphics, was there from, I believe it was March of 2022 through July of 2024. And then Bob signed the lease and moved right in. So he moved into the existing footprint. There didn't have to be any changes other than some paints and just to put his brand up on the wall. But what was being conducted previously is one of the elements of that business is exactly what Bob is proposing. So when he signed the lease, he thought he could move right in. So it's a little bit of a surprise to get the requirement for a special use, but we appreciate you guys fitting this in before the holidays. So here's, if you walk in from the parking lot, this door down here on the bottom, you're walking in, and that's the bay where up to 3 cars can be. And this is appointment only. People cannot just come and, you know, there will be no cars parked outside. Any car that's there to be serviced will be inside. So you see kind of a few different angles there of the service bay. This room on the bottom right, that's where the graphics can be printed, and that's just off, just beyond where the cars will be. Oops. Are we missing a slide? Sorry. Okay. I guess we didn't include the other side is just the office. I mean, there's just computers, waiting room. But that's, I mean, you just saw the entirety of where the work will be performed. And then here's just some details on what car wrapping is for anyone that doesn't know or would like a visual. It's just putting these, we'll just say giant stickers over a car to accessorize them, make them look different without painting them. And that's really it in a nutshell. We did pull up, this was the prior tenant. So, and they had examples on their website of what wrapping would be, you know, putting these signage on a car, because that's, again, a giant sticker. And this was the previous tenant. So it's substantially the same operation as was there. And that's why we do appreciate Mike recommending that condition number 2 be removed, only because our concern with that was, one, a building permit's not required, but my concern was that it might delay Bob's ability to start operating if this special use is ultimately approved and the ordinance is passed by the board, because we understand there has to be 2 readings. So he's been paying rent since August. He'd really like to commence this operation. So we appreciate you considering this.
Any questions for the petitioner? I have a question. Are you currently working out of another facility?
No, I don't work in other place. I have shop in Elston Avenue. It's mobile, it's mobile detailing, so it's like only office.
Thank you very much. Let me ask you up again. Is there anybody out in the audience with a comment or question? No. No question on the floor, it's 10, 12 minutes.
Broadcast is not being heard by yours, and I don't know why.
Oh, really? Well, excuse me. I guess we're open, I'm open for a motion then, with no questions. Commissioner Scott Berman.
I move to approve case number 2024-39P as presented, subject to the conditions that were stated by Mike and the staff.
To remove condition number 2.
We're removing 3, but putting in those conditions, including the conditions I think that Mike had said are included as condition, as staff
But
conditions.
he wanted to remove condition number
Right,
2. Okay, all right.
including the conditions and
Excluding,
removing the
okay,
one.
I'm sorry.
Including all of them, but
Okay.
excluding the one.
Right. Do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Franklin, thank you. Okay, call for the vote. Commissioner Sprayer,
Aye.
Commissioner Scott Berman,
Aye.
Commissioner Franklin,
Aye.
Commissioner Gupta, Commissioner Berman, and I'll vote aye. The motion passes, and this case will go, still have to go before the board for final approval, and you'll be notified exactly when that'll be. They meet on the first and third Mondays of each month, okay? Good luck for your project. I'm glad you picked Skokie. And actually, that's a beautiful spot. That's a beautiful space. It really is. It truly is. Okay, again, case number 2024-40P has been rescheduled because the petitioner failed to give proper notice So they are in process of meeting that notice, is that correct, Counselor? Or,
Yeah, that's correct.
okay,
Of the repost and reissue.
okay, thank you. Okay, now we're on to public comment. Is there anybody in the audience who has a public comment of any sort? And no communications from staff. So this meeting's adjourned. Everybody have a happy holiday and a safe one. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So,
Would you please come up to the microphone?
oh, sure. My neighbor and myself, we live on Babb Street. We thought a lot of our other neighbors would be here unless they rescheduled it due to the Asian. We just want to find out exactly what it is. We weren't too informed.
You talking about this particular case?
I don't even know what case number it is. They just said there was a meeting today. The Asian, yeah, I'm sorry.
For the,
Asian,
the center that wants to go in at 7052, it's over at the public library tonight.
oh, they told us here.
I believe it's at the public library.
A future petitioner is having a neighborhood meeting at the library.
Oh, he said.
At
it
the
said on
same
our-
time.
The type paper, the village hall.
They're just across the.
Okay, so I hope we can still make
Yeah.
it.
it's not over
Okay,
there,
thank
so-
you. I just want to know more
Sorry.
information about it, that's all. We're like in the dark, so we don't know exactly what it is.
Yeah, he's hosting it, the petitioner's hosting it,
Okay,
not Plan Commission.
thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. Did you have a copy of that paper?
It's at home on my refrigerator. You just put village hall